Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today I will be doing my plan with me in my bullet journal for August and then also showing you all of my completed spreads from July. So let's begin with a quick little July flip through. So my theme for July was kind of like these desert kind of colors, I guess you could say. So I had this very like terracotta color, beige, and then black and white and some gold accents, and I incorporated a lot of newspaper, acrylic paint, and lots of little like doodly stars and doodly designs like that. So on this page I used some scrapbook paper in the same color, and this color marker was actually a Crayola Super Tip that I used throughout the entire month, and I think the color looks so nice and I could easily match it with the scrapbook paper that you can see over here. I also used a white gel pen on the scrapbook paper to add some more details and just kind of played around with very pretty doodly designs, layered that with stickers, washi tape, and other things like that. So this is the last week. This spread is a little bit different from my normal type of bullet journal spreads, but I think it's really cute nonetheless. So I just went for a more like doodly look, I guess you could say. So I didn't include any scrapbook paper or stickers. So that is my quick little July flip through. I hope you guys liked all of the spreads, and let's get going on August. Alright, so first off we have the cover page to work on. So I chose the primary colors for this, and I thought it was kind of a fun little thing to do. So I began by taking out some acrylic paint, and when I did this I realized that I only had red and blue acrylic paint, so unfortunately that was what I was working with. So I didn't really know what I was going to do after that, but I taped down my piece of paper to my desk and I just kind of began by painting. I wanted to go for a super like geometric and abstract type of look for this, so I didn't have any plan going in. So I'm just painting on a bunch of different shapes, and then I realized that I did still want to include yellow in this piece of artwork and this entire theme. So I got out my Koi watercolors to complete the primary color triad to use on here. So because this is not acrylic paint, I couldn't layer it as well, so I had to be a little bit more particular about making sure that I could layer everything so that the yellow was at the bottom but kind of looked like it was at the top for some places, if that makes any sense. But I just went ahead and painted my first coat and then I let that dry, and now I'm going in again and adding more shapes on top. So if I wanted super crisp lines, I'm just using more packing tape like this triangle over here and then ripping it off right away. I have like not had great luck using packing tape, or sorry, not packing tape, painter's tape, while doing painting on like paper. It works great on canvases, but this is obviously not a canvas. But in this circumstance it did work okay. I just had to make sure that I pulled the tape off right away, and I also kind of like de-stuck the tape a little bit, so I just placed it down on my desk and then ripped it up so that it wasn't too sticky and it wouldn't peel back some of the paper. But that also might be a problem of the quality of paper that I chose, but it's nothing crazy special. It's just like some random like thick textbook or sketchbook type paper, I guess, but probably not the best for this, but that's completely fine. It worked out. And just by saying that, also my acrylic paints are also not of the greatest quality. They're pretty cheap, and I think they're from the dollar store or something, so you don't need super fancy art supplies to make pretty looking art, in my opinion. So I am just continuing this, adding more and more shapes, layering them with different packing tape, and just trying to make it look as detailed and layered as possible. I keep falling for you like every night. So I also wanted to add some circles on top, and I didn't really want to trace anything because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to paint it in very well. So I tried to use like this wooden little stamp thing, but that didn't really work because the color just wasn't super pigmented once I painted it, or once I stamped it on. So I just painted in those circles, and then I wanted to add some more detailed shapes that I wasn't really wanting to paint, so I'm just using these little stickers around here, and it turned out better than I expected. So I just have some stars and circles, and then to crisp up some of the yellow lines, because it is watercolor and not acrylic, I'm using a Posca paint pen to do so, and this really just helped to make everything look a lot better. I'm just removing the tape from the edges, and surprisingly it was very crisp and great looking edges, which is awesome. So here's the final little painting. And next up, we are going to write out the month on the bottom. So I just began by sketching out a line, finding the center, and then writing out August before going in with my calligraphy pen, just so I don't make any mistakes. And I'm also adding a drop shadow with a white Jelly Roll gel pen, and that is the cute little cover page. I'm so obsessed with these colors. It's like the most basic color palette ever, but I haven't done anything like this before, and I think it is going to be really fun to incorporate all these things throughout the month. And moving on to the calendar, I sketched this out with pencil first, of course, and then I'm using this Micron pen to like draw in all the lines for the calendar. So I think this is a 5x6 kind of grid, so each little square is 5x6 grid spaces. So here are the Tombow brush markers that I'm going to be using for literally this entire month. So I just began by alternating between colors over the dates, and then I'm just writing the date over top of there. And then kind of with a similar like design that I did on my cover page, I'm doing that on this page and more pages to come with those markers. So I'm just drawing out various geometric shapes and lines, kind of overlapping them and kind of just like going around the edge of the page. I wanted it to like kind of look like elementary school vibes, I guess, and it ended up looking kind of circusy, and I'm really not sure what the whole aesthetic of this whole page is, but that's all right. I think it looks cool nonetheless. And I'm just writing out August with some calligraphy, adding a good old drop shadow with a white Posca paint pen over top, and then I have a spot for events and a spot for expenses, just adding in a couple more little doodly shapes, and this page is done. I'm so obsessed with this calendar. Most like spreads I use photos, scrapbook paper, collage type elements, but I didn't at all here, and I am absolutely loving it, so I think this will be really fun to use. So flipping over, we are going to move on to my first weekly spread of the month. So I am just beginning by drawing out these dots with the same 3 colors that I was using before, my good old Tombow markers, and these are going to be the spots where I write out the days of the week. So I have a little spot to make my to-do list every day, and I just like doing this so that I have a spot to organize all of my days up ahead. So I'm doing a similar kind of design as the previous page by adding different shapes with the 3 colors.
Is there something after there's nothing to say?
For my August title, I'm using my favorite Muji black gel pen, and I'm just kind of writing this out in bubble letters with like a super chill font. I didn't really want it to do anything fancy, but I did end up drawing in a drop shadow with a Tombow marker just to give it a little bit more detail. And then with that same Tombow calligraphy marker pen thing, I wrote out the dates, like range for this week, and then I'm writing out all of the days of the week with it. I think this like marker really suited the kind of whole aesthetic of everything, so I have a spot for a to-do list, and then I just did Monday through Sunday on top of those like colored dots that I made before. So I added some more on this left page. And yeah, so I had this like empty space on top of it, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So after adding in some drop shadows to all the things, I made this little mini calendar with a black Muji gel pen just to fill in the space, because I'm not using any stickers or washi tape or any of that kind of stuff. So I also added a favorite section, and then I'm just adding in some more of those classic geometric doodles, and we are good to go. So that is the first weekly spread. As you may or may not know, I will continuously make weekly spreads throughout the month, kind of as I go along. I don't like to make them all in the beginning because I want it to be kind of a time to be able to do art and like be creative and stuff like that. So that's why I don't make them all at the beginning, but that is how this little August setup turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know which spread to date was your favorite, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!
If I